Ladies, let me say something to you right now. If you walked into this room today with a broken heart, with questions racing through your mind, with that heavy silence sitting on your chest because you haven't heard a word from him, I need you to sit up straight. I need you to take a deep breath because today you are going to walk out a different woman. See, too many of you have been carrying the weight of a man's silence like it is somehow your job to fix. Too many of you have been driving yourselves crazy trying to fill in the blanks when he doesn't call, when he doesn't text, when he doesn't check on you. You replay every single moment in your mind asking, what did I do wrong? Did I say too much? Did I not say enough? And let me tell you, that silence starts to feel like rejection. It starts to feel like you have become invisible. It starts to whisper lies in your ear. He doesn't care. You aren't worth it. You aren't enough. But no, darling. That is not what silence means. Silence is not the end. Silence is not proof that you are unworthy. Silence is the start of something powerful. Silence is the moment when life sits you down and says, stop listening to his noise and start listening to yourself. Silence means it is time for you to remember exactly who you are. So tonight I am going to break this all the way down for you. I am going to show you exactly what happens inside a man's mind when you stop reaching out. I am going to show you how silence flips the whole script, how silence puts you back in your rightful position, how silence makes him see you in a way he never has before. But first, let me ask you, are you ready? Are you truly ready? Because once I share this truth with you, you will never beg for attention again. Silence is a teacher, ladies. Let me say this to you plainly. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not surrender. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is a teacher. It is one of the most powerful tools sitting in your toolbox as a woman, and most of you don't even realize it because you were taught to believe that if you aren't speaking, if you aren't explaining yourself, if you aren't reaching out, you are losing. But darling, silence doesn't mean you are losing. Silence means you are learning. Silence means you are teaching. Silence means you are taking back the power that was slipping out of your hands. See, many of you in this room are addicted to filling in the gaps. You can't stand it when he doesn't text back, when he doesn't call, when he goes quiet on you. You feel that knot tighten in your stomach and you tell yourself, if I don't say something, if I don't reach out, if I don't break this silence, I am going to lose him. But ladies, hear me clearly. When you break the silence too soon, when you keep rescuing him from the discomfort of your absence, you rob yourself of the greatest lesson silence could ever teach you. That a man will show you exactly who he is the moment you stop showing up. Because here is what silence gives you. It gives you clarity. Silence strips away all the noise. It strips away the sweet talk, the excuses, that I have been busy, that you know I care about you, all that fluff. When you stop reaching out, you force the whole situation into the light. Does he actually care enough to reach for you, or was he only invested because you kept the fire burning on your own? Silence tells you the truth in a way words never could. And let's talk about him for a moment, because silence doesn't just teach you, it teaches him too. See, as long as you are the one keeping the conversation alive, he never has to lift a finger. He can lean back and relax because he already knows you are going to call, you are going to text, you are going to keep things going. But the second you stop, that is when he feels the drop. That is when the silence lands right in his chest. That is when the man who thought he had you wrapped around his finger starts to realize, wait a minute, the music stopped. And let me tell you something about men. When the music stops, when the attention dries up, when the supply runs out, they notice. Think about it this way. Imagine walking into your house every single day and finding food already on the table. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. You don't even think twice about it. You don't say thank you. You just eat. But the day you walk in and that plate is empty, oh, you notice it then. That is exactly what your silence does to a man. It takes away the constant meal he has been fed, and suddenly he is starving. Suddenly he feels uncomfortable. Suddenly he is forced to admit, man, I have been taking that food for granted. I have been taking her for granted this whole time. Let me bring this back to your healing, because silence isn't only about teaching him, it is about teaching you too. When you pull back, when you stop reaching out, you give yourself room to breathe. You give yourself the chance to hear your own thoughts, to feel your own emotions without his voice clouding your judgment. And that is exactly where growth begins. Because sometimes, ladies, you can't hear your own voice until you stop listening so closely to his. Sometimes you don't even know what you truly need because you are too busy worrying about what he needs. But that silence, that pause, that quiet, it is sacred. That is the space where you discover you don't need him to validate you. You don't need him to answer you. You don't need him to call you baby just so you can sleep peacefully at night. You realize you already carried everything you needed inside of you all along. And don't get it twisted, silence is not easy. Silence is uncomfortable. Silence feels heavy. It feels like maybe he forgot about you. Maybe he moved on. Maybe you don't matter anymore, but that is the illusion talking. That is the test. Because in that silence, if you can resist the urge to run back, you will come out the other side stronger, wiser, sharper. Silence stretches your patience. It builds your strength. It teaches you self-control. Because ladies, let's be honest, a woman who can master her own silence can master her whole life. When you understand silence, you stop reacting. You stop jumping every time your phone lights up. You stop waiting by the door for a man who isn't even sure he wants to walk through it. You stop begging, stop proving, stop explaining yourself. Instead, you let the silence do the talking for you. Because silence says, I will not chase you. Silence says, I will not beg for what should be given freely. Silence says, if you want me, you better step up because I am not stepping down. So when I tell you silence is a teacher, I mean it with everything in me. It teaches him exactly who you are. It teaches you exactly who he is. And it teaches both of you what the truth really looks like without extra words getting in the way. And if you can stand firmly in that silence, if you can let it work on you instead of running from it, you are going to come out the other side a brand new woman. More powerful, more grounded, and more certain of your worth than you have ever been. Because the silence you are afraid of right now, darling, that is exactly the silence that is going to set you free. His ego gets shaken. Ladies, listen closely to me right now. When you stop reaching out, when you stop texting first, when you stop filling his phone with, hey, just checking on you, or did you eat today? Something shifts inside of him that he may never say out loud. His ego gets shaken, and I don't mean a small nudge. I mean the ground beneath him starts to tremble. Because for the first time, he is faced with the possibility that he is not nearly as important in your world as he once believed. Let me paint this picture for you. Men live inside their ego. The ego works like armor for them. It is their pride, their confidence, their sense of power. And as long as you keep calling, texting, reaching out, checking in, that ego sits pretty and comfortable. He never has to wonder if he matters to you because your actions remind him every single day. You're the man. You got her. She'll come to you no matter what happens. And for him, that is fuel. That is comfort. That is his security. But the moment you stop, the moment that good morning text no longer comes through, the moment you don't double text after he leaves you on read, the moment he realizes you have gone completely quiet, oh darling, that armor starts to crack. That king sitting on his throne suddenly feels like a little boy sitting in the dark wondering where his mama went, because his ego thrives on being needed. And when you stop feeding that ego, when you starve it with your silence, he starts to panic in ways you can't even begin to imagine. Picture this. Men will never say it out loud, but their ego is delicate. It's like glass. It looks solid while it's standing up straight, but one firm knock and it breaks apart completely. And your silence is that knock. It's the thing that keeps him up at night going over your last conversation in his head, wondering if he messed something up, wondering if some other man has caught your eye. He'll try to shrug it off. I'm not stressed about her. She'll come back around. But deep down, he is stressed. He's replaying every single move because for the first time, he doesn't feel like he's steering the ship. Let me show you the signs his ego is rattled. He starts testing the waters. He'll post something online he knows will land in front of you, just waiting to see if you react. He'll shoot over a lazy, hey, what's going on, after being silent for 3 days, just to check if you're still paying attention. He'll drop the name of some other woman on purpose, hoping to stir something in you because his ego needs proof you still care. Listen closely, none of that is love, that's ego talking, and your quiet is what pulls the mask off. Now here's the part that matters most. Once you stop chasing him, once you allow him to sit inside that quiet, you split his ego apart from his real feelings. Because if he was only ever there for the ego stroke, he won't stick around. But if what he feels for you is genuine, if his care runs deep, your silence will push him to actually rise up, not just show face. He'll be forced to ask himself, do I let her walk away, or do I swallow my pride and become the man she actually deserves? That's exactly what happens once the ego takes a hit. It pushes the boy to either grow into a real man or watch the woman who could have changed everything for him disappear. Let's be honest here. Some of you are too afraid to let his ego break. You worry that if you don't text first, he'll simply walk away. You worry that quiet means it's over. But listen to me, if silence is enough to make him vanish, then you never truly had him to begin with. What you had was his ego, not his heart. What you had was his craving for attention, not his love. And wouldn't you rather find that out now, instead of wasting another half a year pouring into a man's ego while your own spirit goes hungry? When his ego takes that hit, don't run in to smooth it over. Don't save him from the discomfort of missing your attention. Let him stay in it. Let him feel every bit of it, because that discomfort is where honesty is born. That discomfort forces him to look back at how he's been treating you. That discomfort is what makes a man think, wait, I can't play around with her. She's not someone I can half love. I need to show up right. And here's something to remember about men. They may not listen to lectures, they may not react to tears, but they always notice a change in energy. And silence is the loudest energy shift there is. That's the turning point where everything flips, and suddenly he's no longer the one being chased. You are. Suddenly he's the one chasing, the one proving himself, the one checking his own behavior, because his ego can't handle the idea of losing you. So remember this, when you stop reaching out, you're not just going quiet, you're shaking the ground he stands on. You're putting a crack in the armor he believed could never be broken. And that crack is exactly where the truth seeps through. That's where the boy's ego gets exposed, and the man underneath either steps up or fades away. Either way, sweetheart, you come out ahead. He begins to honor the distance. Let me spell this out for you. Men don't value what's always within reach. They value what they're afraid of losing. And the second you stop reaching out, the second you stop filling every quiet moment with your texts, your calls, your energy, that's the moment he starts honoring the space between you. The silence that used to scare you, the distance that once felt like rejection, that's actually what makes him see your worth in a completely new light. See, when you're constantly available, when you're always the one initiating, you're teaching him something without even meaning to. You're teaching him that no matter how he acts, no matter how unpredictable he is, no matter how far he drifts, you'll always be right there. You'll call, you'll text, you'll close the gap yourself. And once a man picks up on that pattern, he settles into it. He stops putting in effort. He stops showing up completely because he knows you'll always cover the distance for both of you. But the second you stop doing that, everything changes. He picks up on the silence. He notices that empty space where your messages used to be. At first, it might irritate him. He might roll his eyes and say to himself, she's overreacting. But as the silence keeps going, as he realizes you're not sulking, you're not playing games, you're simply living your life, that's when the respect kicks in. Because men are built to pursue. They're wired to go after what's valuable, not what's handed to them on a plate. And once you step back, once you give him that space, he feels that pulls start working on him naturally. He might not even understand why, but suddenly he's more interested in you. Suddenly he's wondering, what's she up to? Who's she around? Why has she gone quiet? That curiosity turns into respect, because now he realizes your world doesn't spin around him. He sees you have your own rhythm, your own life, your own light that glows whether he's in the picture or not. Here's something a lot of women don't want to hear. When you stop running after him, you don't lose your value, you gain more of it. Your silence says something no words ever could. It says, I don't need you to feel whole. I want you, but I don't need you. And once a man understands he's dealing with a woman who stands firmly on her own, he respects that. He might never say it out loud, but somewhere inside, he knows he can't treat you the way he treated others. And here's the truth. Respect grows stronger with distance. Think of a song that plays on the radio every single day. At first you're obsessed with it, but eventually you barely register that it's even on. Now picture not hearing that song for months, and then suddenly it comes back. It hits completely different. You remember exactly why you loved it in the first place. That's exactly how men experience your silence. When you're constantly around, he tunes out the music. But once you pull back, once you make room, suddenly he hears it all over again, and this time it's even louder. So don't be scared of the space. Don't rush to fill it up. Let it stretch out. Let him sit there, because inside that silence, he learns to value your presence. Inside that distance, he learns the difference between a woman who waits around by the phone and a woman who keeps building her life no matter what. And once that truth sinks in, respect naturally follows. He starts choosing his words more carefully. He starts checking himself before disappearing for days at a time. He starts to understand that your silence isn't weakness, it's strength. The space you make for yourself is sacred. It isn't empty at all. It's packed with your power, your healing, your energy. And when you stop chasing, when you stand firm inside that quiet, you teach him something no message, no phone call, no argument could ever get across. You are a woman who deserves respect, not only when you're loud or giving, but even in your silence, and that's a lesson he'll carry with him forever. He becomes curious, then puzzled. Let me make this crystal clear. When you stop reaching out, when you stop sending that casual thinking of you message, when you stop chasing him just to remind him you care, the very first thing that stirs in his mind is curiosity. At first it's mild, it's nothing serious. He notices you haven't called in a day and brushes it off. She's probably tied up. She'll reach out soon. That's his ego reassuring him. He's used to being fed attention, so at first he assumes it'll keep coming. But then another day slips by, then another, and that phone stays silent. That's when the curiosity begins turning into something heavier. He starts replaying things. Did she say something the last time we spoke? Did I miss something? Is she upset with me? Did I mess up somewhere? Men aren't used to silence from a woman who's always shown care. They're used to you filling in the gaps, keeping the connection alive on your own. But when you step back, when you go still, it throws off his whole rhythm. And nothing rattles a man more than a routine that suddenly breaks. That curiosity builds the longer your silence lasts. He'll start checking his phone more often. He'll notice the missing notifications. He might scroll through your social media hoping to catch a clue, and when he can't find any answers, that's when confusion sets in. Wait, this doesn't feel right. She always calls. She always checks on me. Why has she gone so quiet? Confusion is powerful because confusion is where change begins. A man who's comfortable doesn't grow. A man who has you figured out doesn't adjust. But once you knock him off balance, once his routine is disrupted by your silence, he's forced to reconsider how he's been showing up with you. He can no longer count on his usual moves. He can't assume you'll always be waiting. All of a sudden, he isn't sure where he stands anymore. Now here's where things get interesting. A confused man starts behaving strangely. He might send you a random, distant-sounding text acting like nothing's wrong, but inside he's really testing you, waiting to see if you'll cave and reach out first. He might even bring up another woman on purpose, hoping to spark a jealous reaction just to confirm you still care. Why? Because his confusion feels uncomfortable. It rattles his sense of certainty, and there's nothing men crave more than certainty. But confusion works in your favor, because when a man is confused about you, it means you're occupying his thoughts. It means you're on his mind. And in that state, he's open to the truth. He has to decide, will he step up and give this woman the security she deserves, or will he risk losing her for good? That decision never comes while he's comfortable. It only comes when he's curious and confused, when your silence forces him to face himself instead of coasting off your effort. And remember, confusion isn't cruelty. You're not playing games by holding back. You're teaching him something he needs to learn. You are showing him that your energy isn't free. Your love isn't something that just happens automatically. And your presence is a privilege, not something guaranteed. That lesson only sinks in when he actually feels the gap. And that gap only opens up once you stop filling it yourself. So when you pull back and he starts drifting from curiosity into confusion, don't rush to explain yourself. Don't send that text just to smooth things over. Let him sit with it. Let him feel that discomfort. Because that's the moment he'll either step up to meet the occasion or show you he was never meant to stand next to you in the first place. And either way, you come out ahead, because in your silence, he doesn't just feel curious and unsure. He gets a front row seat to the truth that you are not the woman he thought he had figured out. You are not someone he can predict anymore. And that mystery, that uncertainty, is exactly what makes him realize he could actually lose you. He starts to see your worth in a whole new light. Ladies, let me be honest with you. Men don't recognize your value when you're always right there, always available, always within reach. They don't do it on purpose, but it happens anyway. Because when something is constant, when it's always guaranteed, the human mind stops treating it as something precious. But the second you step back, the second your voice stops filling his ear every single day, the second your text stops popping up like clockwork, suddenly he starts seeing you differently. Suddenly your worth becomes obvious to him. Picture a diamond. If diamonds were scattered across every driveway, every sidewalk, every park, people would just walk right past them. Nobody would even notice the shine anymore because it's everywhere. But when a diamond is rare, when it's locked away in a case, when you can't just walk outside and grab one, that's when it becomes priceless. That's when it actually carries weight. That's when people will do anything to hold on to it. And ladies, that's precisely how your worth works too. When you're too available, he starts assuming you'll always be around. But once you pull back, once you choose quiet over chasing, once you take your focus off him and put it back on yourself, that's when he starts to feel it shift. That's when it hits him. Wait, she's not chasing me. She's not waiting around for me. She's living her life. She's shining on her own. And let me tell you, seeing you stand tall without him, that's the wake-up call he never expected. Because your worth was never about how much you give. It was never about how hard you try to prove yourself. Your worth lies in who you are, even when you offer nothing at all. It's in your presence. It's in your energy. It's the simple fact that you can go quiet, step back, and still carry weight. When you stop reaching out, he gets a taste of that absence. He feels what it's like without your energy pouring into his world. And suddenly he understands just how much you were actually giving him. Here's the truth. Sometimes a man doesn't recognize what he has until silence reveals it. He doesn't realize how much brighter his days were because of your voice. How much your encouragement fueled his confidence. How much your presence eased his loneliness until it's all suddenly gone. Your silence becomes a mirror. It shows him exactly what life looks like without your energy in it. And if he's being honest with himself, that image shakes him to his core. Ladies, once he starts seeing your worth differently, his actions change too. He becomes more intentional. He puts more care into his words. He starts showing up, not because you begged him to, but because now he understands you're not just some background character in his story. You are the main event. And once a man realizes that, once that fear of loss creeps in, he can't just ignore it. But don't miss this part. Whether he rises to the moment or not, what matters most is that you begin seeing your own worth differently too. Because in that silence, while he's learning to appreciate you, you're learning to appreciate yourself. You're realizing you don't have to overgive just to be loved. You don't have to over-explain just to be understood. You don't have to chase just to be chosen. Your worth doesn't shrink just because you're not the one holding the connection together anymore.